Hey, it's V Lee here, and you are watching the Real Estate Baller Show. We are a growing channel, and we've been growing organically, and we could really use your help. So can you hit that subscribe button and share this episode with a friend? It helps us more than you know and allows us to help more people to reach financial freedom through real estate. Thanks and enjoy this episode. Wouldn't you say that you are happier today than when you were maybe, in your early 20s where we thought we were really happy and carefree, but really, truly, like we are happier today?
Yeah, I agree. And I think I've learned a lot from people, whether it's about marriage or spiritual or business. And I think I've also met, like you, I've been around some very successful people successfully financially. And I just realized like, oh my gosh, I'd be miserable if I was like, that's not the version I'm going after. And you just kind of learn that's okay. And so you're right. I am happier. And I think I'm happier because I know myself better than I did when I was 20. I didn't really know who I was or what I was about. And that's part of, that's the old, I hate to say it, we're at that age where, some wisdom, right? You start gaining some wisdom on the things that were important. And I think that changes. I think if we talk 20 years from now, we'll say, aren't we so much happier than we were 20 years ago? I don't think that ever changed. If you're doing life right, that should always be the case, right?
Yeah, totally agree. Because life is all about discovering who you are and what you're here to do, right?
100%. And I think when you're in the grind, you can lose focus of that. You can lose yourself of who you really are and what you're trying to go. I've been guilty of it. I've let life, especially work, control the person that I am. It's my identity, quote unquote, right? And I let that happen. It's a false sense of comfort. It maybe feels like comfort, but it's false sense of comfort.
So speaking of which, Will, when you first started the house buying, the real estate business, how would your staff categorize you, or how would they feel about you? Were you more an uptight boss compared to who you are today?
I think there's been a lot of different versions over the last 10 years. I think at the beginning I was fun because we were growing and it was exciting. And, you and I got into real estate at a very good time. I make no mistakes. A lot of my success came not just from me, but the market helped us out a lot, out a lot. But I think throughout those 10 years, there was probably 10 different versions of me, honestly. I think when I got to a certain level, I became a lot more, like when I started chasing other people, like I want to do what this guy does or this gal does, or I started probably putting pressure on the team to get there. But I didn't really have a reason other than just for the sake of doing it, honestly. And I still can be that way. I still have to watch it. Sometimes I try to tell our team, well, we need to be focused on the inputs, not the outputs. But sometimes I'm really focused on the output, the result. And I can overlook what people are doing and putting into it. And just, if they're trying or we're doing the right thing, but we're not seeing the results yet. And I'm hammering them, I'm writing them, and why aren't we here? Why aren't we there? I think when I started to lose more and more control as we started to grow, I kept trying to control it instead of letting the people do what they need to do. And it probably became more of a mess. So yeah, I think, I got to catch myself. I still have to catch myself because I do have that drive and hunger to be the best version of myself. But I got to be careful of that for sure.
So what kind of boss would you rank yourself? Are you a whip cracking type of boss?
No.
Are you an inspiring boss? Lay back, easygoing? What are you?
Here's my biggest downfall. I sometimes hold people accountable to standards that don't exist.
Because you're naturally competitive.
Yeah, well, so what I feel like happens to me where I struggle and I need to do a better job, even as we speak right now, is I have a standard, but I haven't given them the standard. So people need to know, like, what's our standard? Like, we have these certain KPIs we measure by, but instead of leading people, I'm trying to why haven't you done it yet? Like, why are we not doing this? And I think if you don't have a standard, and by a standard, I mean, let's just say in our world, right? If this is a seasonal business that I'm in the market that I'm in. And so naturally we're slower right now. But I want it to be just as busy as if it's, May, and I'm looking at everybody like, why isn't it? So a great example would be like our acquisitions team or any of our other teams. Like, I haven't set a standard of like, okay, when we're slow, we make this many calls every day. right? Like, hey, here's the expectation. Here's our standard. Here's our expectation. We hold them. Instead, I just get on them. Like, why haven't you made calls? Well, that's not even a standard I've set. But now I'm trying to hold them accountable to something that I haven't been, as a leader, I haven't given them clarity of what they should be doing. Does that make sense?
Would that be expectation that you haven't set for them, or?
Correct. But I'm holding them accountable. I'm trying to hold them accountable for expectations I've never set,
Yeah.
And because I just, in my head, it's like, duh, of course I want you doing this if we're slow. Or of course I want this done. Like, why would you not be doing this? Instead of being clear with them.
Okay. But you have longevity in your companies. What are the good things you did that keep them around?
Well, I think you got to know what's their why, because their why is not to build you a rental portfolio. I think we really get to know, like, what's your why? What do you want to accomplish? Not just money, but all aspects of life. What are they trying to accomplish? And once you figure out their why, if you help them get to their why, naturally they'll get to your why.
This episode is brought to you by National Real Estate Insurance Group, a national independent insurance agency specifically for real estate investors. I personally use NREIG for my investment properties. They offer a low monthly payment option to help you to lower your cash out of pocket when buying an investment property. If you're looking for insurance coverage for your flips or your rental, reach out to them. You can click on the link in the show descriptions, or you can reach out to Jules at 816-946-8443.